Hey guys, I am live. Look at here. Look at this. It's me, and I'm trying not to give you the angel lights behind me. There we go. Hey. So I was gone for a little while. Sorry about that. As you can see from the title of the video, it's about. I want to talk to you today about fighting back against. I don't like the angle of the camera at all. I want to talk to you about fighting back against, I can't figure out where the camera is. I've got the camera backwards and it's making me crazy. I want to talk to you about fighting back against depression. And the camera's going to make me crazy, so I need to go like this. There we go. That's better, but now you have the angel lights. So yeah, when last you saw me, I was depressed. And I'm still working my way out of it. And it's a process. And first of all, I wanted to clarify that it's possible to be depressed and be on antidepressant. Still can't get the camera in the place where I want it. And still, it's possible to be on antidepressant medication and still get depressed. And I think that's a misconception that a lot of people have. And I've been on antidepressant and anxiety medication for most of my adult life at this point, and I'm 50 years old. It keeps me from getting to the very, very bad bottom place where I might make decisions to hurt myself. And that's what the medication does for me. It does not keep me from going through periods of really painful depression or having periods of anxiety or attacks of anxiety. It just doesn't work like that. I don't like this light either. Am I making you crazy yet? Here we go. We're going to do this. Oh my gosh, I almost just spilled like all the tea. Ha! Spilling tea. Get it? Get it? So I wanted to clarify those two things. That's not how it works, at least not how it works for me. So, but it does keep me from getting to the really, really bad places. So how do I go from where I was, and you saw me where I was in a bad place, but I knew I was in a bad place because I've been there before. I think if you've never been there before, it's hard to know that you're there. So how do you know if you're depressed versus just really, really sad or just not motivated? When I'm depressed, I'm not motivated to do anything, and I don't care that I'm not motivated. See, there are times in our lives when we're not motivated and we're kind of lazy, but we're going, wow, I really wish that I would just do something with my life. You know, I really wish I felt like doing something. Man, I should be doing something. I really wish I would get out of bed or whatever. And that's like, meh, that doesn't feel good, but it's not the best feeling in the whole world. But it's also not necessarily depression. See, I'm moving the camera again. I am going to make you crazy today. For me, depression is I don't feel like doing anything, and I don't care that I don't feel like doing anything. I just don't care. It's a complete lack of caring about anything. I don't care what I eat. I don't care what I drink. I don't care. I just don't care. And then the anxiety comes in there because my brain it knows it's wrong. And so that starts pumping out all kinds of danger signals like danger, danger, Will Robinson. We're in the danger zone. We're in the danger zone, but it's not coming out consciously. So then I just start having the horrible anxiety. And I've explained to you what the anxiety feels like. The anxiety feels like everything is bad. Everything is black, dark, bad, bad, bad. Everything is bad. And it's scary and it's bad. And I don't get anxiety where like I have trouble breathing. I just feel like something is sitting on my chest and there's this big, dark, like inky, black, nasty inside me. So it's all good, right? And you're like, and she's on medication. There's no hope for me, but there is. because, as I said, the medication keeps me from going to a place where, oh, I'm glad that hi, wounded child. I'm glad that somebody can relate to my description of what this is. So as I said, the medication keeps me from going to the really bad place. And the bad place is where I'm like, I just don't want to be here anymore. But it keeps me from going there long enough for me to do what I need to do. And so this is what I want to tell you today. So where have I been? I've been on my comeback trip here. And so I want to talk to you about what my process is. And I think it's a very real process. And it's a process that I know it's real and I know that it works because I've done it a lot. Guys, I'm 50 years old. I first became depressed when I was about 5 or 6 years old. I had my first complete breakdown when I was 13. So we've got at least 47 years of experience here. So you may want to take some notes. So here's my fight back plan that works for me, and it might work for you. So the first few are what you can do physically. For some people, these are the hardest. For me, they're the easiest because they're external. And I can just sort of tell myself that I have to do them. I tell someone outside of me that I have to do this, and I make them hold me accountable that I'm doing it. But it makes me do it because I don't like people asking me, did you do it? That annoys me. So I do it so that I don't have to hear, did you go for a walk today? Did you do this today? Did you exercise today? And when they ask me, I want to be able to say, yes, I did. Okay? So make someone who annoys you hold you accountable. That way you'll do it. So be very careful about what you eat. Don't eat a lot of sugary stuff. Now, I know that when I'm depressed, you know how some people get depressed and they don't want to eat? They're like, and they're just like, oh, I so don't want to eat. And yeah, no, I want to eat everything. And so sugar, though, puts us on a really bad roller coaster that makes our current situation even worse. So don't go for the ice cream and the cookies when you're depressed. Stay away from the candy. Stay away from the sugar. If you can go salty, crunchy. I'm not going to tell you to not eat through this because there is some comfort in food and it does release some endorphins. So yes, we want to eat junk because we don't care, right? Especially if we are normally health conscious. When you don't care anymore, the first thing you do is you go for the Doritos because they're not even really a food. You're like, what is the most chemically laden non-food thing I can put in my face right now? Because I don't care, right? So I would say go for the Doritos over the sugar, okay? And then kind of slowly, as you're coming out of it a little bit, back off the Doritos, maybe to just some straight up potato chips, because they might actually be a food, okay? And like popcorn, and if you can get some like all natural, like Boom Chicka Pop kind of popcorn, like I'm at popcorn now, okay? So that's a sort of a food. Although ironically, corn causes my joints to hurt, but I gotta, there's only so many things I can take care of at once. That's the other thing, is you have to realize there's only so many things you can address at once, right? The other thing is don't drink alcohol. If you do drugs of any kind, or if you smoke marijuana or anything like that, don't do that. Don't be doing that. And definitely just step away from the alcohol. Now, I love me a glass of wine in the evening. I do. And it's like, it's good for you and everything. Not when you're depressed, it's not. So not good for you when you're depressed. Because when you're depressed, that glass of wine in the evening can quickly become 2 glasses of wine in the evening. And especially if you're on medication, that's really bad. And it's just really bad overall. Alcohol is a depressant. So step away from the alcohol, okay? Just cut it out. Cut it out. And then you just have to keep fighting. And I know it's like hard when you don't feel like fighting, to fight. But somewhere in you, part of the reason that you're depressed is a feedback loop where you don't want to be depressed. And part of your self-loathing is because you're depressed and you don't want to feel like that. And I can't believe I'm here again. That's where I always go to. I can't believe I'm here again. It's been 47 years of this crap. How am I here again? How did this happen? You got to let go of all of that. You got to let go of the blaming of yourself and just move. Just start doing. Make yourself a checklist that you have to do every day and do it. Get to someone to talk to. Find a counselor, find an online counselor, find a support group. Talk to someone, talk to people. Don't do this alone because you kind of can't do it alone. Because you need those people who are going to hold you accountable. You need those people who are going to understand. And you need those people who are going to validate what you're going through, but not in a way that they keep you there. Just that they understand where you are. And then they help you to believe and know that you can come back up from this. So another huge thing that, so there's a story that I want to tell. It's from, it's a story about Supernatural. It's about Jared Padalecki from Supernatural. Sorry, I'm a fangirl. But they've all been really open. There's a book called Family Don't End with Blood. And that book isn't really about the Supernatural fandom as much as it is about how the fandom impacted their lives personally. And Jared, his chapter is like 30 pages long. I think it's the longest chapter in the book. And it's about his struggle with anxiety and depression. And how at one point he had to leave sort of the convention tour. He left the European tour because he was just in such a bad depression. And he had to fly back kind of from like, I don't know, Germany to England to LA or to Austin or something like that. So he talks about having an anxiety attack on the airplane and how that is probably the worst thing you can do. And he's like 6'4", so if you're 6'4" on an airplane, you're already having anxiety issues. And he was in really bad shape. And he had done a campaign the previous year for their Random Acts charity called Always Keep Fighting. And it was for people who struggle with mental illness. And the message was to always keep fighting. Never give up, always keep fighting. And so he had a Sharpie in his bag, and he was having this anxiety attack. And he had to be on this plane for hours and hours. And he spent those hours writing all over his arms, both of his arms. He just kept writing in Sharpie, AKF, always keep fighting. And when he got off of the plane, his arms were covered and hands were covered with AKF in Sharpie because it had helped him to focus. Him sharing that story was amazing. It helped so many people. Then he goes on to tell about how when they went to his first public appearance after all of that, and he went to therapy and he did a lot of work, and then it was time to go to San Diego Comic-Con. So he went to San Diego Comic-Con, where he's going to be in Hall H, over 6,000 people, after he feels like he let his fans down terribly by abandoning the convention tour because of his depression and anxiety. And so he was preparing to apologize profusely to everyone and to admit that he knows that he let them down. And so he was having a lot of anxiety about this appearance. And little did he know that Supernatural fans are made up of people who probably watch a show about people who fight demons because they fight their own demons every day. If you're a Supernatural fan, like I became a Supernatural fan, I think I became so in love with this because of that message of the always keep fighting and the fighting against impossible odds and these horrible demons, but you just have to fight. When you don't feel like it, you have to fight, you just have to fight. And so somebody in the fandom organized a thing where they made thousands of tea lights, you know, the battery operated tea lights, with a label on them that said, "Always keep fighting." And when he walked out on stage, everybody held up the electric tea lights. And from his perspective, he thought it was camera flashes, and he thought everybody was taking pictures of him. And then someone handed him one of the tea lights with a note from the person who organized the campaign that explained that these lights are for you, and for you inspiring us to always keep fighting. You know, you're our light, and we love you, and we're here for you. I always get chills. I always get chills when I think of that. So always keep fighting. Just whether you want to or not, you just have to. I'm sorry, it's non-negotiable. It's non-negotiable for me. I have a husband who loves me and a child who loves me and a family, and they need me to keep fighting. So I do. Faith. If you are not a person of faith, this is going to suck. If you have any tiny spark of faith in anything at all, it's good to cultivate it, because it is the thing that helps me. And I lean on it so heavily when things get dark. And then I almost feel guilty because I'm kind of like, I don't do it as much when I'm not depressed. But I'm trying to just, you know, I've actually, for the past couple of years, daily morning prayer has been a ritual for me. It's a ritual that makes me happy. So the faith has been really important, but I lean on that a lot because I think you also need something outside of yourself. Yes, they are a nice little package together, the anxiety and depression. It's because they feed each other. The depression feeds the anxiety fuels the depression, and it's just this horrible feedback loop. It's ugly. I honestly don't think I know anybody who has depression without anxiety. I think they're just manifestations of the same chemical stupidity. So faith is really important. So some sort of daily connection to something greater than yourself is helpful. Move your body is another one you really don't want to do. You so don't want to do this. It's like the last flippin' thing you want to do. But at the very least, go for a walk around the block. Go for a walk around the block. I find what really, really helps is putting on some disco music, and I mean disco, 70s disco music, and dancing really badly. You cannot help but laugh at yourself, and you're moving your body. It really, really works. The bad dancing is good. I do like Elaine from Seinfeld, and then I crack up because how can you not laugh? And let's face it, even when you're in depression and your anxiety and you're all that stuff, you can still laugh and you can still smile. So, and that will release the good dopamine, and you'll start to feel a little bit better. You know, I'm all about the mindfulness and the meditation. There's a lot of great apps out there for that. There are mindfulness and meditation apps that are specifically for people struggling with depression. Look them up, try them out until you find one that helps you. Gratitude. Start a gratitude journal. I should have put this at the top of the list because taking time every day to be grateful for something helps. It really does help. It really reminds us that not everything is black and dark and nasty and bad. It isn't actually all bad. Despite how you feel and what your body and your mind are telling you, it isn't. So a gratitude journal, a gratitude list. I don't care if you put it on Post-it notes. I really don't care. Just write it down every day, the things that you're grateful for, even if you can only come up with one thing. And then the last and most important thing, I think I said it towards the beginning, but talk to someone. Get a counselor. There are lots of online counselors now. There's text counseling. Talk to someone. Talk to someone who doesn't know you. It really, really makes a difference. It makes a huge difference. Talking it out with someone who isn't a part of it in any way, doesn't know any of the people involved, really, really makes a huge difference. And they can help you get perspective, and they will probably give you all of the advice I've just given you, but maybe not with a supernatural story thrown in. But they will hold you accountable, and they'll listen to you, because there's some things inside you that you need to talk about. That's where this is all coming from. Depression and anxiety doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from something. I'm not talking to you guys about where it's coming from, but I do know where it's coming from. It's coming from a lot of different directions right now. And I'm working on those, and I'm talking about them, and just talking about them helps me. It helps me a lot. So anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know that I am doing better. I think probably my last video, I was still kind of in the depths. I'm coming up out of the crater now. So, you know, I'm not all the way there yet, but I'm getting there. Like I said, I'm on popcorn now. I'm not shoveling the Doritos in my face quite as much. So, thank you for listening to me. I will try to post here more regularly. One of the things that I am addressing is that I'm trying to do too many things. I'm trying to be everywhere and do too many things. The tea is at that perfect temperature. And I don't want to miss that. I look forward to my tea in the morning. Oh yeah, the other thing is caffeine. I only get 2 cups of tea a day, because too much caffeine and then you crash. No wine, no caffeine. But it's all good. It's all good. I already yogaed today. I yogaed, I prayed, and it's all good. And I'll meditate later. Oh, and I also forgot to say, read positive things that make you happy. There are so many great podcasts, and they're free. There's so many great motivational podcasts. Please find some podcasts. Oh my God, podcasts have been such a huge help through all of this. And those will fuel you and help you get out of it as well. So thank you to the 2 folks who were here and hung out with me today. And I thank you so much for sharing your inspiration. And I know you're out there, and that really means a lot to me. And knowing that you care about this person that you don't know in the middle of nowhere. And I care about you even though I don't know you, because that's the way the world works. Surprise! So anyway, guys, I hope you do have a great day. I'm going to go have a great day. I'm going to go have a productive day, because I said so. I love you. And I will see you again when I see you. I'm making no promises, but I'm also not abandoning the channel. Love you guys. Bye.